Hello traders, it's Victor from TRADEPRO Academy, and as you guys may have noticed from this title, I'm going to be talking about why you should stop drawing trend lines when you're trading futures right this second. Trend lines are one of the most common and first things that you learn from a technical analysis perspective when you start learning technical analysis as like a newer trader or a newer analyst in the technical sphere, and it is one of the most useless aspects that we could possibly take into account when we're trading, especially futures. So, if you guys are excited for this maybe controversial topic, maybe not, right, in the area of technical analysis, drop a comment down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, let's see why I hate trend lines so much. Trend lines might look like an effective tool, right? No matter what you're looking at, you're drawing lines here, left, right, and center on whatever kind of charts. But especially for futures, I'm going to drill into the futures because I'm going to show you exactly what you need to be looking at for futures instead of all these random indicators. Now, these trend lines may seem effective after the fact, right? After we've been able to connect a few dots. But when it comes down to it, when you're looking at a specific trend line and price starts getting into it, you don't necessarily know to XYZ consistency or confidence percentage that you're going to see a failure, a break, whatever the case may be. You're always going to have an external validator and qualifier when you're looking at these trend lines. We can throw out multiple different pictures of trend lines here, and you'll see number one, you can draw the trend line multiple different ways. Number two, you don't necessarily know if this area is going to break and what will cause it to break more often than not, or will it hold and what will cause it to hold more often than not. It is all an arbitrary tool that just aligns things, maybe puts them in order visually on a chart, rather than having any type of meaningful trade assistance. Right? If we take a look at this chart, for example, you'll see no matter what chart I put up right now, you will see that, yeah, you can draw a trend line in multiple different areas. However, what does it tell us? A trend line is supposed to tell us that it's in a specific trend, but it'll never tell us if it'll hold or if it'll break and why, right? That is the key aspect that we need to know. It might be a decent tool after the matter, but when we're trying to anticipate where the price is going to go, it's just not going to do us any good when trading futures. Realistically, if we put it in a different perspective, if you go to any desk, any institutional big money desk, no one's going to be over there with a ruler on the screen trying to draw a trend line to kind of connect a few dots and see, okay, well, I got to buy the S&P futures right here and I want to buy 2,000 contracts because this freaking line is here. It's just not going to happen. Realistically, if we want to be able to compete, not even compete, but take the scraps from some of the institutional size and understand the directionality of it, we cannot be using trend lines. We're going to have to use something more specific, something more meaningful, and something that actually tells us directionality, levels, and whatnot. So instead of looking at trend lines to get all of our information when we're trading futures, what we're going to be doing is two things, right? The futures markets are very sophisticated markets and they're centralized. So that means that every order that comes into the exchange, you will see with your own eyes, depending on the tools that you have naturally. You can get access to these tools, right? Obviously, but you're going to see all of the orders. So is that not better trying to decipher what these orders mean than trying to anticipate if this trend line is going to hold or not? The institutions are using the orders. The retail is using the trend line. So if we understand from an institutional perspective how these orders work, we start diving into order flow, right? That's step number one. How to avoid trend line use and actually get into something that actually works with futures, we got to understand number one, order flow. So order flow tells us buyers, sellers, market orders, aggressive, passive, absorption, right? Rejection, all that good stuff. It'll tell us on an order flow perspective if we can decipher it. So if we know that, why would we ever even consider the trend line when we have these levels from an institutional order flow perspective and we can trade off of those? It's all DOM work, the depth of market. We can start there and that's going to be the simplest approach. Now remember, we have done a video on this. If you guys want to check that out, it's right there. I'm not going to break it down in its entirety. But if we understand how the order flow works, especially on the DOM, we don't even need to think about these trend lines that are honestly after the fact anyways. So that's part number one. We understand the order flow. We don't have to do that kind of technical analysis that doesn't work anyways, or has a very low probability of helping us out. The second thing where we could introduce some technical analysis to this aspect is going to be the volume profile. Another thing that we've been beating to death, but realistically, these are the two individual single things that you're going to need as a futures trader, as a newer trader, as any type of trader to get a normal edge. So the volume profile is an area that divides the market into distributions and different volume blocks where we have attraction and rejection. Now, this is the area where we can actually draw some horizontal lines, some boxes, some levels if we need that visual help based on the volume itself. So we have the actual areas. Now, again, you need more info on volume profile and futures trading. Check this video out right here. We're going to put it up for you guys. But those two aspects completely negate any kind of technical analysis, not only trend lines, right? You're looking at different chart patterns. If you're looking at different averages, looking at oscillators like MACD, you can forget about a lot of that stuff and focus your energy on what is really moving this market, and that is going to be the DOM and volume itself. If you enjoyed this video of me bashing trend lines, especially in a futures space, drop a comment down below. Do you guys use the trend lines when you're trading futures? What do you use when you're trading futures? You tell me. Better be the DOM. But drop a comment down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And for more videos like these, telling you guys what you should be looking at, what you should be focusing your energy on, what doesn't necessarily work, just drop some more comments, guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Now, don't forget our Futures Masterclass is on our website. You can go check that out where we deep dive into some more order flow. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.